You know, some people say that it was an apple that got Adam and Eve kicked out of the Garden of Eden. I certainly don't know if that was true. I wasn't there. But another thing that people often say from the Bible is that money is the root of all evil. And I've never read that in the Bible, but I have read that the love of money is the root of all evil. And I think that there's an important distinction there, because if you don't love the money, it's a very different relationship that you'll have with money than if you do love money. But then also from another perspective, I don't know if this is properly attributed to Warren Buffett, but I've heard people quote him as having said that money's not everything, but it's kind of like oxygen. When you don't have enough money, it's pretty much all you can think about. So how is it that we are supposed to balance a need for money, living in a society where money runs the show, so to speak, and yet not loving money, and being okay having money? Because some people I've met will tell you that to have a lot of money is a sin. And I've never read that anywhere in the Bible either. But a lot of people say these things. And so for me, I wanted to kind of reflect a little bit about that. Now, to me, money is a catalyst. And what does that mean? A catalyst makes things that are or could happen faster and easier. So to me, money is a catalyst in that it allows each of us to do more of what we would naturally do anyway. So if you are the kind of person, and you've become the kind of person that naturally is helping others, being able to go out and get money will allow you to help more people and to do that faster and easier. If you're the kind of person that hoards money and values power and values the ability to have control of others, money will give you more of that too. So to me, having the money or not having the money probably isn't so much the problem as it is the way we view money and the way we're using the money in our life. So if you are short on money and you don't have enough money to pay the rent, or you're struggling to buy groceries or to pay the different utility bills that you have, money gets really important really fast. I once had a college professor and he said, right now, none of you will believe me because you're all starving college students. But if you work hard in your career and you keep your nose to the grindstone, he said, eventually you'll make so much money that you'll reach this point where you have enough. And when you have enough, you'll stop thinking about money. And when you stop thinking about money, you'll do things you never would have before. You won't care if you go out to dinner all the time because you have enough money, it doesn't matter. And so that professor was speaking something that is part of human nature. I think that we struggle and stress over perceived lacks, a perceived lack. So if there's the fear of missing out or a scarcity, we will be programmed as humans to pay a lot of attention to that. And so money gets lumped into there all the time because so many of us view money from this scarcity mindset where there's not enough money. Myron Golden has said, and I'm going to probably misquote you a little bit, Myron, I apologize, but he said essentially that as long as you're trading your time for money, you'll never have enough. I'd encourage you to go listen to his full lectures on this because it's absolutely inspiring. But he says that if you're trading time for money, you'll never have enough. Bob Proctor said that humans are designed for work. We were made to work. Work was made for us so that we'd have something to do, to be constructive with our time. But he also said that the work you do should not equate to your money that you're making. He would say it that we need to provide a service to people in order to make money, but the service we're providing does not have to be the same thing as we do for our daily work. We may do our daily work for the passion of helping, or because we have a passion for that item that we want to do. But we may provide a service to society that's entirely different that brings the real revenue. An example of that is someone can be an author and write a best-selling book and make a fortune from it and spend all of their time fishing. Now, the work they do every day is fishing. They've written a book and they're living off the benefit of that book that they've provided to society. Now, that may not be an example that ties directly to you, but there are so many ways to make money. It keeps getting easier and easier. I was just looking at the ability to buy and invest in companies and have the value of those companies increase and potentially some pay out dividends. And you can go and create an account for almost nothing. If you have a computer and internet connection, you could go to the library and set this up. If you have a smartphone, you can set this up. You only need a few dollars to start. So oftentimes, the biggest barrier to us having enough money is one, having the knowledge of how to acquire money. And then two, having the discipline to do what's needed. And three, the patience to make it work. So if you are in a position where money's a struggle, give yourself more of those three things. Go out, study, learn, and discover. Then give yourself the discipline to do what you've learned from those people who have gone before and figured out how to provide services to make money. And then three, have the patience to continue moving forward even when you don't get the money that you're seeking right away, because oftentimes it takes time. Now, to sum up that formula into one word would be faith. To me, faith is you're going out and you're changing your view on something and believing something, then you're taking action on it, and then you're waiting for that action and that belief to deliver the fruit that you've been looking for.